Good morning, class. How are you today? Are you fine? Okay, today we are going to continue with our linking words. As last time we saw the beginning, okay, today we are going to continue. So last time we saw linking words for giving example, okay, linking words for contrasting ideas, linking words for adding information, okay. So today we are going to continue with the fifth point, okay, that is giving a reason, linking words for giving a reason, okay. So you have due to the fact that, okay, owing to the fact that, because of, since, and as, okay, due to the fact that, owing to the fact that, because of, since, as. Okay, so we are going to see them separately. Okay, now you have due to and owing to. Due to and owing to must be followed by a noun. Okay, that is, when you want to use due to and owing to, they must be followed by a noun. Okay, example: due to the rise in oil prices, the inflation rate rose by 1.25%. Okay, due to the rise, so the rise is a noun. Due to the rise in oil prices, the inflation rate rose by 1.25%. Okay, owing to the demand is also a noun. Okay, here is the linking word. Owing to the demand, we are unable to supply all items within 2 weeks. Owing to the demand, we are unable to supply all items within 2 weeks. So let's continue. If you want to follow these words with a clause, okay, so put in mind that a clause is a subject, verb, and object. As you know that a sentence is composed of a subject, a verb, and an object. This is called clause. So if you want to follow these words with a clause, which is a subject, verb, and object, you must follow the words with the fact that, okay? You must follow the words with the fact that. Look at the example here. Due to the fact that oil prices have risen, the inflation rate has gone up by 1.25%. Can you see the fact that here that I put in yellow? Okay. Due to the fact that oil prices have risen, the inflation rate has gone up by 1.25%. Okay, so if you want to follow these words with the clause, so you must follow them with the words, the fact that. Let's continue. Owing to the fact that the workers have gone on strike, the company has been unable to fulfill all its orders. Owing to the fact that the workers have gone on strike, the company has been unable to fulfill all its orders. Okay, so it is a very nice sentence. Owing to the fact that the workers have gone on strike, the company has been unable to fulfill all its orders. Okay, so let's continue with because and because of. Okay, because and because of. So because of is followed by a noun. Because of, that is, this one is followed by a noun. So because of is followed by a noun. Example: because of bad weather, so bad weather is a noun. Because of bad weather, the football match was postponed. Okay, the reason why the football match was postponed is due to the fact that weather was not fine. Okay, there was a bad weather. Okay, so because of bad weather, the football match was postponed. Because, now let's see because now. Because can be used at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. Okay, because. So let me put it, invert it. So because can be used at the beginning or in the middle. At the beginning or in the middle. at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. Okay, because can be used, okay, at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. For example, because it was raining, the match was postponed. Okay, because it was raining, the match was postponed. Okay, so because can be placed at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. Because it was raining, okay, the football match was postponed. So because here is at the beginning. Now look at this example. Because is in the middle of the sentence. We believe in incentive schemes because we want our employees to be more productive. We believe in incentive schemes because we want our employees to be more productive. We believe in incentive schemes because we want our employees to be more productive. Now let's go on since and as. Okay, since and as. So since and as mean because. Okay, so since and as mean because. Since and as mean because. Okay, since the company is expanding, we need to hire more staff. Since the company is expanding, we need to hire more staff. Okay, so since here means because. For example, that is, we need to hire more staff because the company is expanding. Okay. Another example, as the company is expanding, we need to hire more staff. So the two terms, since and as, they mean the same thing because. Okay, as the company is expanding, we need to hire more staff. As the company is expanding, we need to hire more staff. Okay, so let's continue. Now we are going to selecting words for giving a result. For example, if you want to give a result, in number 6, giving a result. Okay, to give a result, you can use these terms. Okay, you can use these terms. Therefore, so, consequently. This means that, as a result. Okay, therefore, so, consequently. This means that, as a result. Okay, so this expression express your, okay, a result, if you want, giving a result. Okay, therefore, so, consequently. This means that, as a result. So let's see them into more details. You have therefore. Therefore, so, consequently, and as a result are all used in the similar way. Okay, that is, when you look at these 5 terms, therefore, so, consequently, this means that, as a result. So they are used in a similar way. That is, in the same way, if you want. Okay. Example: the company are expanding. Okay, company here can be considered as a collective noun. Okay. The company are expanding. Therefore, or, so, or, consequently, or, as a result, they are taking on extra staff. Okay, so let's take them step by step. The company are expanding. Therefore, they are taking on extra staff. The company are expanding, so they are taking on extra staff. The company are expanding, consequently, they are taking on extra staff. Okay? The company are expanding. This means that they are taking on extra staff. Okay? And finally, the company are expanding. As a result, they are taking on extra stuff. Okay, so put in mind that so here is more informal. So here is more informal. Okay, so here are the expressions or terms for giving a result. Okay, now let's continue. We are going to see now some linking words for contrasting ideas. That is how to contrast ideas. So to contrast ideas, you have so many linking words to use. Okay, you have for the time being, you have but, however, although, even though, despite the fact that, in spite of the fact that, nevertheless, nonetheless, why, whereas, unlike, in theory, in practice. Okay, I repeat, but, however, although, even though, despite the fact that, in spite of the fact that, nevertheless, nonetheless, why, whereas, unlike, in theory, in practice. Let me repeat them. Okay, but, however, although, even though, despite the fact that, in spite of the fact that, nevertheless, nonetheless, why, whereas, unlike, in theory, in practice. Okay, let's see the examples. Okay, let's see the explanations given to each linking word here. Okay, here but is more informal than however. But, let me put but in color. But is more informal than however. Okay, however. Okay, but is more informal than however. It is not normally used at the beginning of a sentence. That is, you cannot start a sentence with but. You cannot start a sentence with but. That is why I said it is not normally used at the beginning of a sentence. Okay? So, look at the example here. He works hard, but he doesn't earn much, meaning that he doesn't earn much money. Normally, if you work hard, you must earn much money, but it is not the case. He works hard, but he doesn't earn much. Okay? He works hard. However, he doesn't earn much money. Okay? He works hard. However, he doesn't earn much money. He works hard, however, he doesn't earn much money. So, but is more informal than however. Okay? Although, let me put it in color, although, despite, okay, red, despite to, despite and spite. In spite, okay. Okay. Although, despite and in spite of introduce an idea of contrast. Okay. Although, despite and in spite of, they all introduce an idea of contrast. If you want a contrast, a contrast here means an opposition. Okay, that is, there is an opposition. That is, you can use them if you want to express a sentence like an opposition. Okay, Although, despite, and in spite of introduce an idea of contrast. With these words, you must have two halves of a sentence. That is, with this word, you must have two halves of the sentence. Look at the example here. Although it was cold, she went out in shorts. Okay? Although it was cold, she went out in shorts. Okay? In spite of the cold, she went out in shorts. In spite of the cold, she went out in shorts. Okay? So, although, despite, and in spite of, the introduction idea of contrast. So, with them, you must have two halves of a sentence. Okay? Although it was cold, she went out in shorts. Or, in spite of the cold, she went out in shorts. Okay? Now, despite. Let's see despite. Despite and in spite of. Despite and in spite of. Okay. Despite and in spite of are used in the same way as due to, let me put it in a color, okay, due to and owing to, okay, owing to, which are linking words for giving reason, owing to. So, despite and in spite of are used in the same way as due to and owing to, okay? But you must put in mind that they must be followed by a noun. That is, despite and in spite of, they must be followed by a noun, okay? If you want to follow them with a noun and a verb, you must use the fact that, like what we saw a few minutes ago, okay? Despite the example, despite the fact that the company was doing badly, they took on extra employees. Despite the fact that the company was doing badly, they took on extra employees. Okay? Despite the fact that the company was doing badly, they took on extra employees. Now, let's continue with nevertheless. Nevertheless and nonetheless. Nevertheless and nonetheless. Nevertheless and nonetheless. Nevertheless and nonetheless mean in spite of, that, or anyway. Okay? So, nevertheless and nonetheless mean in spite of, that, or anyway. Okay, they mean in spite of, that, or anyway. The example: the sea was cold, but he went swimming nevertheless. The sea was cold, but he went swimming nevertheless. In spite of the fact that it was cold. Okay, this is what it means. Okay, it means in spite of the fact that it was cold. The company is doing well, nonetheless they aren't going to expand this year. The company is doing well, nonetheless they aren't going to expand this year. So we are going to stop here. Okay, next time we shall come back on the rest. Okay, thank you so much.